Hello, adventure. So I don't know about your dream board, but one of my dreams is that I want to own an elephant. And you're wondering, why do you want to own an elephant? Well, the reason I want to own an elephant is because it one-ups anybody else's story. I don't know if you have that friend where they always have to have a better story than you. And somebody says, my son just got accepted into Harvard. Well, I own an elephant. Nobody's going to talk about, oh, did you hear his son? Did John Erik owns an elephant? Yeah, even hey, my kid's an astronaut. I own an elephant. Owning an elephant one-ups anybody else's story. So I actually have looked into this and what would it take to own an elephant? And they eat a lot, so you gotta have budget for food and where would it go? And there's all sorts of zoning, but I thought, oh, well, I might be able to work something out with the local zoo, and it's my elephant, but I'll let you use my elephant, but anytime I want to visit it, it's my elephant. So I've thought through this, and it's interesting. I was looking online. So I said, well, where are we going to put the elephant? And so I said, well, we'll get a little bit of property, we'll put the elephant out there. Well, what if the elephant runs away? The elephant isn't going to run away. I looked online, and I looked, how do you care for an elephant? You actually can Google that. How do you care for an elephant? And so what you have to do is you have to get chains, and you have to chain this baby elephant's foot to a tractor or a tree, because the baby elephant's going to run away, and you don't want this baby elephant rampaging through your neighborhood. I mean, that would be all over the news. This just a baby elephant ransacks neighborhood. Anyway, an elephant definitely would rampage through the neighborhood, causing lots of property damage. So you have to keep your elephant chained up. And so what you have to do is you have to get this chain, and you put that chain around the elephant's back foot. And so that elephant tries to run away. Now, the only problem with that is my wife said, well, what happens when the elephant grows up? Well, that's a good question. I assumed, well, you're just going to need a bigger chain. Well, it turns out you actually don't need a bigger chain. In fact, you only need twine to hold the elephant. You think, well, that elephant's strong. It could just break that twine. Well, here's the problem. That elephant, when it was growing up, it was always held back and always had that chain. And so at some point, the elephant gives up trying to run away. And I think that is a lot of us. When we were growing up, there was a chain put around us. So I think even in school, what happens is something's said to us, and it just is played on a tape recorder. So something negative is said, and that's why words are so powerful, and we need to be careful how we use our words, and we need to be careful how we use our posts, because one comment in somebody, they might still be a baby elephant. So that's on that tape recorder. I know for me, things were said to me that were really hurtful, and I played those back that I'm dumb, and I'm dumb, and I'm dumb, and I had to get a point in my life where I remember the moment where I stopped apologizing for how God made me. And in that moment, what happened is I broke through the twine. But I remember the moment when I had to break those chains, and I said to myself, I'm going to stop apologizing for how God made me. So you might be sitting there and you think of all the things that you can't do. And what I want to encourage you is that those are just baby chains, and that you are much stronger than that. And you need to break some of those chains. And you just stop playing that tape back of all the things that you can't do and you can't learn, and that you're never going to get social media, or you're not smart because you're not dumb. Before you have your big breakthrough, you might need to break some chains first. You see, your adventure is so important that I'd hate that you're being held back with just a little bit of twine. The world needs your adventure. It needs you. And your adventure begins as soon as you break those chains.